Assalamualaikum, my name is Hidayah Binti Azrin and I am a student from AS116, which is Diploma in Food Technology at UiTM Campus Samarkand 2, Sarawak. For today's video, I would like to talk about nitrogen. Now, what is nitrogen? Nitrogen is the chemical element with the symbol N and atomic number 7. It was first discovered and isolated by a Scottish physician, Daniel Rutherford, in 1772. At standard temperature and pressure, two atoms of the element bind to form nitrogen gas, a colorless and odorless gas. Nitrogen gas forms about 17.8% of the Earth's atmosphere, making it the most abundant and uncombined element. So, what are nitrogen's physical properties? Well, one of them is slightly soluble in water. This is because nitrogen gas is non-polar and water is a polar solvent, and so non-polar elements will be insoluble in it. Only some amount of nitrogen gas dissolves in water at given temperature. Next, nitrogen is colorless, odorless, and a tasteless gas. And lastly, nitrogen's melting point is negative 210 Celsius, while its boiling point is negative 195.8 Celsius. Next, moving on to nitrogen's chemical properties, it includes nitrogen's effect on litmus paper, its reaction to metal and non-metal elements. Firstly, nitrogen does not have any effect on litmus paper. This is because nitrogen is a neutral gas. Next, nitrogen's reaction to metal elements. Nitrogen gas reacts with group 1 and group 2 metals at high temperature. For example, nitrogen gas reacts with sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. An example of its general equation is sodium added with nitrogen to form sodium nitride. Next, nitrogen's reaction to non-metal elements. Nitrogen gas do not react with non-metal elements. This is because the heat produced during the reaction is not sufficient enough to break down the strong triple covalent bond in nitrogen molecule. Now, let's talk about nitrogen's electron configuration. Nitrogen is the 7th element with 7 electrons. In writing the electron configuration for nitrogen, the first 2 electrons will go in the 1s orbital. Since 1s can only hold up to 2 electrons, the next 2 electrons will go in the 2s orbital. The remaining 3 will go in the 2p orbital. Therefore, the electron configuration for nitrogen will be 1s2, 2s2, and 2p3. Now that we know its electron configuration, let's talk about its chemical bond. Nitrogen is a non-metal element and it has 5 electrons in its outer shell. 2 nitrogen atoms will each share 3 electrons to form 3 covalent bonds and make a nitrogen molecule. By sharing 6 electrons, each nitrogen atom has reached an octet. These full outer shells with their shared electrons are now stable. The nitrogen molecule will not react further with other nitrogen atoms. Nitrogen has 3 bonds between its atoms. This is called a triple bond. This triple bond is very strong and it is what makes nitrogen unreactive or stable. There are no ions present in nitrogen gas because the electrons are shared instead of transferred from one atom to another. Last but not least, there are many daily life or industrial applications of nitrogen in the world, and one of them would be used in preservation of food. The nitrogen packing system essentially involves replacing oxygen with nitrogen in packing foods. To begin with, food item to be preserved is placed in an unsealed wrapping or packed. Once this is done, food-grade nitrogen is introduced into the packing, driving out oxygen-rich air as well as any moisture present. Sealing the food packing traps the nitrogen within it and ensures an oxidant-poor environment that allows the food to be stored longer. Also, nitrogen gases are used for generating an altered or man-made atmospheric condition when it is applied with carbon dioxide to help aid in the preservation of packaged and bulk foods. It helps with food preservation by safeguarding against oxidative damage, which causes the decay or breakdown that causes food to spoil. Other than that, nitrogen gases has shown to be very influential in chemical reactions and compounds, and has been used extensively in pharmaceutical industry. It is used for other gas mixes and compounds for medicinal uses, such as what is seen with nitrous oxide being used as an anesthetic. Nitrogen gases can also be used to preserve egg, blood, nerves, stem cells, and various other biological specimens. Lastly, use of nitrogen gases in electronics. It is used in internal workings of many computers and helps to prevent them from overheating and burning themselves up after hours of continuous use. It is widely used in fire suppression systems for information technology equipment, since water and extinguisher are usually not effective in these types of situations. Nitrogen is also used as X-ray detectors and other electronics used in the medical field. Alright, that is all from me. I hope you gain a lot of information about nitrogen. Thank you and have a good day.